Today we're going to learn about the rich history of the Hope diamond.
So you start with a Tavernier Blue diamond, which is basically a roughly polished crystal of diamond. Tavernier bought that from the Maharaja back then, and he carried it all the way to France. He sold it to Louis XIV, but Louis did not like the shape of the Tavernier Blue.
Yeah, they want that brilliance and sparkle and
symmetry and all that good stuff. So he tasked his court jeweler to cut the French Blue diamond.
So we lost about 60 carats of weight cutting that?
About 50, yeah.
Wow.
The French Blue diamond is 7-sided, which is kind of an unusual number for a diamond.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, why is it 7-sided? The most commonly mentioned number in the Bible is the number 7. So there's a certain religious significance to having 7-sided. But in ancient Aramaic, the word for 7 is the same word that they use to describe the divinity of God, the level of perfection, of having enough, of being satisfied. Louis XIV was the sun god. So he is now wearing a 7-sided diamond, color of blue, the color of the sky. And because it's 7-sided, it now proclaims in a religious context that he has been ordained by God to rule France.
Must be.
You know, when you're the boss, you can make up any story you want, and that's what Louis went with.
Good marketing.
Well, the French Blue was finished in 1673. It was a part of the French crown jewels. And in 1749, Louis XV wanted to use it in an order called the Golden Fleece.
Okay.
Which was patterned after Jason and the Argonauts, which was a holy quest because they were looking for the Holy Grail. And the Golden Fleece was the finest piece of jewelry created. Unfortunately, in 1792, the French crown jewels over the course of 5 days were looted.
Disappeared.
Over 50,000 diamonds.
Wow.
Were gone. And one of them was the ornament of the Golden Fleece containing the French Blue. So the French Blue disappears. Gone forever. In 1812, there's a manuscript that pops up describing the Hope diamond. Now that manuscript is dated 20 years and 2 days after the theft, and it had a 20-year statute of limitations. And so there's a few correlations going on here, but that's when the Hope makes its first initial formal appearance.
And something that size and that intensity in color, it's pretty hard to say that it's not
yeah.
the same.
The French Blue, when it disappeared, was the world's largest blue diamond. The Hope diamond, when it appeared, was the world's largest blue diamond. It doesn't take a lot of imagination. So a lot of people suppose that the one came from the other with no scientific proof. And that's what the Discovery Channel program, to prove through forensic geometry, did the Hope in fact get cut from the French Blue? And we could go into a whole lot of technical details, but the bottom line is that yes, we did prove that the Hope did come from the...
So you could see that that would fit inside that when you're doing some CAD modeling.
Exactly. A masterpiece of gem cutting.
Wow.
It's a cut into the Hope, because personally I like the French Blue.
That is beautiful.
And what's interesting is that, you know, you go from the Tavernier Blue to the French Blue and you're losing about 45 carats, and then you go from the French Blue to the Hope, and you're losing another 24 carat.
And where's the Hope diamond now?
It's currently in the Smithsonian. Or in my pocket maybe, because I had my replica with me at the time.
We've done the switcheroo.
Yeah, so there you have the history of the three blues.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Scott, for telling us.
My pleasure.